Untamed, unhinged, we ignite. Positivity shining bright. Reptiles, exotics all unite. Untamed, unhinged in the night. Big Flex and Chris spreading the vibe. Eric and the mad scientist, David by my side. Untamed, unhinged, talking reptiles all day. Positivity's our topic in every single way. Untamed, unhinged, we ignite. Positivity shining bright. Reptiles, exotics all unite. Untamed, unhinged in the night. Untamed, unhinged, we ignite. Positivity shining bright. Reptiles, exotics all unite. Untamed, unhinged in the night. Big Flex and Chris spreading the vibe. Eric and the mad scientist, David by my side. Untamed, unhinged, talking reptiles all day. Positivity's our topic in every single way. Fuel stock with the community's voice, spreading love and knowledge, making noise by choice. Reptiles and exotics, we stand strong. Untamed, unhinged, singing our song. Untamed, unhinged, we ignite. Positivity shining bright. Reptiles, exotics all unite. Untamed, unhinged in the night.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Untamed and Unhinged Reptile Podcast. Hey, did it have a delay there?
It did have a bit of a delay, bro.
Oh, because my phone kept ringing.
We're all in line, bro.
Well, it's supposed to be TSA podcast, but we're doing it on my podcast, guys. So
TSA and Flexing and Finessing or Untamed and Unhinged, right?
Yeah, TSA and Flexing and Finessing. But I only have Untamed and Unhinged channel, so that's what we're doing. Go ahead, brother.
Alrighty, my man. So the story of today is what? Broken people. There's a reason why we ended up in this conversation. A little bit of a backstory within why we came into this with help. Chris and I were on a conversation about a future podcast here coming up next week. We're going to actually have a stripper and a priest. Chris will be the stripper. But with that conversation, we just had it withheld from this week. So we were talking about, what we have been going on through our lives and what he has been going on through his life and certain stories, and that kind of, what's up, J&S Exotics, Bohemian Exotics, Carissa.
That's it right now.
With that being said, I mean, the story kind of lingered into something of our own personal, affairs and how we've dealt with certain situations, or even people that are around us, that have gone through that situation themselves. We're not here to proclaim other people's life, or we have a lot of people that subide or confide in us. We're not here to relate those stories. We're just here to give our own vibe of what we've experienced, what stories we've gone through. So it's a safe space, it's a way of knowing your emotional intelligence. We'll be going over that as well. We'll be going over statistics. What is the reason of abuse and how we can overcome it, not only as the person, but maybe the predator can heal themselves. I'm not saying that piece of shit should have died. By all means, that's my thought. That's my personal view. If you are an offender, you do not deserve to have the next breath. That is my decision. You don't have to speak that to nobody. I don't wish that upon anybody. But at the end of the day, don't touch my daughters. You're going to pay for it. Brother, you have anything to add on before we hit into statistics?
Well, yeah, same thing. I agree. Like, it's not only that. It's like if you're hitting women and all that stuff, or been hitting women,
you're a coward.
Huh?
You're a coward if you hit a woman.
Yeah, if you hit a woman, you're a coward. Basically, that's pretty much it. I don't stand for it. I actually hang around with a lot of people that, will pull men aside if they catch them hitting their, and be like, hey, if you hit her again, well, we're going to just, we're going to kick your ass, stuff like that. So we don't tolerate that. I don't tolerate that. So, but speaking on that, we'll just go on. I mean, that's just me. I'm with Jorge over there. Is it Jorge or George?
Call me George, brother. We'll get to the down to the period of why I don't like to be called Jorge, but call me George.
George. Well, that's why I'm with George. I agree with George over there. It couldn't be that way, but we're gonna get into the statistics and go ahead and bring them up, George.
Yeah, brother. So in our world, we have certain statistics that we read off of the U.S. Now, there's a Domestic Violence Statistics Center, which is a .org website that has been pulled from the U.S., UN, and UK. So this happens to have the entire world statistics of domestic violence and the U.S. separation. Over 1 in 3 women, which is 35.6%, and 1 in 4 men in the U.S. have experienced rape, physical violence, and or are stalking in by an intimate partner in their lifetime. So research shows that there is a bit more of equivalence with men having a lesser chance by 1%. That's give or take. It's between 28% to 35.6%. It's not the drastic change, but we're going to get down to why that reflects and what is the main reason. Uh, a summary in statistics is that from 2021 to 2023, which was a line of figures, people going through therapy and actually exposing their own stories, that gave these statistics. Means that a lot of women are still out there hiding that situation. So these statistics might not line up because essentially not everybody is going to come up forward and say, I've been through this. So these statistics are a bit more laid off of 3 years because of the domestic abuse crimes and reported policies. So between 1 in 7 men, it's 13.9% of abuse, rape, and in their lifetime. So it doesn't have to be domestic abuse. It can also be physical or sexual. And between that amount, it's 27%. So men drastically have a higher chance of being abused versus women. Now, you might think that's weird. Usually women are the ones who seclude to tendencies or be abused. We're living in a different generation. Women are starting to step up. They're the ones with the balls, and that's technically what's happening.
I mean, I
So,
wouldn't complain, but that's just me.
now, there's people that are masochists like Chris here, but we understand that it's more of a fetish. We'll get down to that too. But those statistics in abuse, which is like 27% to 13.9, it reflects a lot because it comes to say women are more outspoken than men, and we tend to hide it more, in statistically speaking. Now, how likely are men to be victims of violence? It's 24.6% versus 32.5%. Now, this is the main statistic that was done in 1,079 men that were killed by their intimate partner compared to 1,690. So there is about half or almost, I want to say a quarter more of women killed versus men. So because the fact that we kill off our partner, it happens to be more aggressive on the percentage versus us abusing them. So we have a higher chance of killing off our partner versus the woman doing it. So that pushes that barrier up on that scale, when in reality, we're the ones getting abused on a daily basis. It's not saying that, one for the other, both ways, it's horrible. But as domestic violence approaches and we're going through that era where mental illness is like at peak right now because people are just stuck in their homes, everybody's on their phones, nobody's having that real interaction, that brings something called anxiety, post-traumatic distress disorder, which is PTSD. A lot of those can arise in like drugs misuse, or if you're abusing anything whatsoever, it could be an addiction. And that leads on to probability. So, bro, what do you think about probability between men and women? Like, do they have a higher chance of being abused because they are a woman now in this generation, or do you think it's contradictable?
I think it's contradictable, dude,
What?
because like women being abused. Or okay, so you're asking me women being abused in this generation, right?
Yes, in this generation. Do you think that these statistics are more adequate, or is this something that a deep state or some type of I don't know. I put that out there because the government might want to manipulate certain things or numbers to make a view more polarized towards one side. If that makes sense, I believe that the government is very monogamous.
So I feel like the, statistically, I feel like back then women were, getting abused
Mhm.
and just keeping it. Nowadays, women are just getting killed. So I would feel it's different nowadays
It is.
because
It is.
now the partners are just like you said, we're killing them off. We're not abusing them anymore. I mean, yeah, we're still abusing them, but they're going all the way now. So
Yep, yep, yep. It's sad to say, man, but it's really getting to people's head. I think that there has to be some type of uproot of social awareness, and that brings us to self-awareness, that one of our techniques that might help unravel what's going on or what you are aware. And I want to share this story and we can bounce off of it as well, bro. But I had this conversation with a mentor about a month ago. I was helping him out. Well, it was about a couple weeks ago. I was helping him out with the house, and we were painting. And as we were painting, bro, we, you know, when you go into something and you don't know how to do it, and you think you're showing up 100%, but you're really not.
Hmm.
And you get your ass chewed for it, and then you sit down and you're like, whose fault is this? Is this person really being picky, or is this person being just
Yeah.
because, you know, you get that feeling, right? So I went to help this guy, my mentor, and we were painting this house, and he's very precise and nitpicky, and I appreciate that from him because I learned my lesson. I learned something very valuable within the past couple of weeks. That lesson was, be more aware that you can do everything 100%. You know, everybody goes into it as feeling like, I'm a beginner, I can't do it 100% yet, because if I do it right now, then I might fail in the future. But if you go in 100% and like, let's say you couldn't write with a pencil, right? And you start holding it like this, but you obviously saw the teacher holding it like this, right? So you are aware of certain things, then you'll pick up on things faster. That's what I was trying to get to this. Like, if we could pick up on our own selves, like before we take it out on our partners or abuse them, even vocally, like, man, we think that we're all saints, but in all true reality, I sat down with myself last night and I was thinking, you know, how many times have I spoken over my wife, or how many times have I not let her finish her sentences, or how many times have I told her, like, hey, it's good for me to do this right now, or but you need to lay off a little bit, or like just pushed her over.
Okay. So now I'm starting to get what you're talking about now. So think, okay, so I feeding off that, I was actually thinking about this too last night. Now that you're saying that, um, for example, last night, there's things that I don't like, with my girl, like, and it's nothing about her. It's, she still has to have the baby daddy. Of course, she has her baby daddy, right? Um, and and he just gets her worked up, and or and when she does get worked up, I get worked up. So when I get worked up, I'm on steroids. So like my trend just, I get halfway, and then the trend pushes it all the way up. You know what I'm saying? So I told her last night, like, I gotta go to the gym. I gotta decompress myself. I gotta, because if not, I'm just gonna snap. And I go, that's what the steroid does that I'm taking. So it get like, if I get mad halfway, the trend finishes it all the way up. It pushes it up, and I can't stop it. I can't control it. And I start like breathing out of control of me. Like I just want to like beat the shit out of something. So I was like, no, I need to go to the gym. I need to go to the gym. And it's only because I'm on that stuff. When I'm not on that stuff, I'm pretty chill out. I'm chilled. I'm relaxed. But I know my limits. Like I know where I need to go to the gym. I know when I'm ready to talk. I tell her too, like, let me just decompress and I'll talk to
And as a
you.
man, we have to be aware of these situations. If you feel sad, if you feel angry, if you feel happy, express that emotion to 100% and let it go. Don't ever hold it in, because the moment you hold it in, you're not letting that flow. It's like this channel of water, bro. And then if you stop it, like you put a hold to it, it's like you're stopping yourself from breathing. Your system just goes into shock. It's like if you're putting yourself through that stress spiritually and internally. And I've seen myself do that, where I'm like so out of it because I'm so fixated on something, and then I let go of it and snap. It works out. You get
Bro,
what I'm
not only
saying?
that, yeah, you zone out, you get tunnel vision. And when I'm in tunnel vision, bro, like she sees, she knows, and she's like, hey, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I fucking zoned out. And she's like, I know, I saw, and I'll be like, well, I'm overthinking right now. Like, okay, so the other day I was having a bad day because I was overthinking shit, and I'm always overthinking, bro. It's, am I gonna be a better man? Am I gonna be a good man? It's always something about me. And then she told me something which, calmed me the like F down, but I don't know. It's just, I don't know how to stop overthinking.
Let me just give you this little tidbit, bro. Take it as you want it, but We are part of something bigger than the picture.
I mean,
So if you figure out that you're special enough to know that you are unique in your own way, but you are part of that picture, you let go of that I identity, or you let go of that me, it's always me, or I did something to hurt you, and then you stop that tickering mind. It's like you're shutting up the monkeys. You know what I'm saying? Like you're shutting them up and you're saying, I'm taking control. I'm in control of this avatar, because that's all it is, bro. We're in this vehicle that God gave us, or whoever gave it to us. Then
but
you're just managing it.
but at the same time, for the women, bro, it's like, for instance, some women are like deal with a lot of trauma. Some women are still afraid to talk,
You
and then
can't
when they're like, how do
anatomy to a
we,
woman.
yeah,
So
like how do we talk to you when before we either got yelled at or chewed out for doing the wrong things, or not doing the wrong things, really. Like, let me just give an example. Getting chewed out for serving on a glass plate versus a paper plate.
let me show you something real quick, and the people will understand what I mean. There's this book, and there's a reason why this book happens to be a female version and a male version. Because as a male, we have a different anatomy, right?
Mhm.
We understand certain things, and we say we love differently. And women, as the same way, they love differently as well. Look, it's called the five love languages, right?
Mhm.
Read it, understand that book, feel it in your internalize that book, and once you internalize what it's trying to convey, you will understand that it's not about how to love, it's more about how to accept that person's love in their own way. It's like you just said, this person went through this trauma because she fed somebody on a plate that's made out of paper,
No, glass.
glass versus paper. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's like this person is so fixated on having things a certain way that that person is now taking their power away from the person that they love, so that they can make themselves feel better. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
was like, so I'm like, I don't know why that's a big deal though. It's if we have paper plates, give me a paper plate.
Because that person is not healed, brother. That person has not healed. A person who is not healed will always pertain to certain things that they need. It's like a survival mode. If you're not thriving, or if you're not happy with who you are, you're going to cling on to the smallest things, and even you'll overcast them on people. Like, let's say you, like your significant other, she comes to you and she's sad, and now she starts crying in front of you. She's taking what that conversation could be and overpowering it with her emotion. I'm not saying she's zealous or she's a selfish person, but we have to be aware of certain circumstances like that where we cry and we actually take away what we could have learned. Or we were angry and we took away from that situation. Or we were happy and we took away from that situation because our emotions got in the way. So once you silence it and you stay quiet with that person and you hear them out, and without an emotion, without a tear, without cry, without laughter, you consense yourself and you actually speak your truth, bro, it's a world of difference. It's a fucking world of difference because you're actually not putting all of these emotions, because those are our primal state. You know what a primal state is, right? Where a tiger just reacts because their cubs are just coming by, and he thinks they're pissing him off because he's trying to sleep. That's the primal state. We're humans though, bro. We're fucking human. And people as humans, we need to figure out that we have the best ability than anything in this world. We have consciousness. We have the ability to cater to nature. We have the ability to cater to others. Why were we given this power? So that we can use it as an primal state, or so that we could be aware to function in this reality? What do you think?
I guess I don't know, man. I was gonna say I guess to function in this reality, but I mean, I mean, that's like a trick question.
Because if you're primal, if you're in survival mode, like you're saying, you go to the gym and you're cranking up and you're just like, I'm here, but I'm pumped. Don't piss me off because I'm gonna smack the shit out of you. But you're like this, you're constantly, and your nervous system is just reacting to it. That sense, and that's where drugs, in a sense, kind of do help. I'm not saying to everybody do drugs, but when you hit that point and you're like you're feeling right now, if you can center yourself while you're on shit, imagine your potential while you are off of that. So if you can control the mind while you're being tinkered or being hit by this chemical that's hitting your body, and your body's in primal state, and you can manipulate that, imagine the willpower that you will have without using the drug. I'm not saying to because it's bad or good. What I'm saying is that your mind power obviously is not there, and you say that you have to decompress while you work out. You get what I'm saying? So like if
Hmm.
you actually work out and if you forget about like what you're saying, you decompress and then you work on that and you push it more and you push that limit more and more and more, bro, how do you think people were actually bound to be great? Like all of these greats that have fallen upon from us, they have great levels of stress. Stress is part of life. Like a lot of people take it to heart and they're like, it's me, it's me, it's me, it's me, it's me. It's always my fault. I always did this, but no, bro, it's not your fault. You're just not letting it flow. Like the water's not open. It's like you have it kind of open a little bit, but you got the pressure pulling at full force right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but a lot of people don't know how to let it flow, though.
How do we teach them? You can't just tell somebody, open your fucking water, bro. Look at what you're doing. Realize how you're treating me. Realize how you're beating me with your abusive words. Like, for example, I'm going to give this example because my wife is aware of this and I'm aware of this. Bro, there came a time where every single word came with curse words. Every single thought came with curse words, vice versa.
Wait. So what does that mean when everything you say comes with a curse word?
Like, that's what I'm trying to express. Like everything I said to her, I cussed her out, or everything she said to me. We came to that point where we were at our lowest, and we
So
figured it out. We're like, holy shit, we're abusing the fuck out of each other.
okay.
You know what
So
I'm
what if
saying?
I say like, "Oh, that's fucking awesome"?
No, well, you're taking that out of context. You're just speaking literal. What I'm saying is that everything I would tell her, I'd be like, "Get the fucking trash up," or "You get the fuck out of your bed," shit like that, bro. Like,
Oh, okay.
why? Why? You know, like it's external abuse. But I understand that we were young, we were kids, and that's how we grew up. You know, we she might have grown up a different format. I grew up a different way, bro. I honestly never said a curse word until I met my wife because
Dang.
I felt comfortable in her shoes. I felt comfortable being around her family because they were so open. And my mom, because I didn't grow up with my mom, she was a very open person, sexually, morally, everything. Anything I had in questions, if I asked my mom, and I would just call her because I never saw her, she'd be open and tell me. But my with my grandparents, because my father was never in the picture, it was more like come to the table, sit down, learn from us. You don't have time to waste. You don't have time to waste for this life. And I never had that experience as a child where I sat down with kids. I always had friends that were 3, 5 years older than me because I felt like I was at a different level because I saw myself at a higher potential. But that was a bad state of mind because then I fed that into a narcissistic uh, relationship with my own wife, and it kind of like backfired. I'm not saying that we're that way now, but in reality, man, it makes you feel a different way when you actually grow out of that. And I'm not saying that abuse is always being beat by the wall or hitting somebody or abusing them sexually. It could be just your mouth, bro. And a higher percentage of abuse comes through our mouth on a daily basis, whether you like it or not.
But I get that because in my previous relationship, I used to say like, "You stupid or what?" You know, and I didn't realize, that was a form of abuse till you started saying that.
It's crazy, huh? How dark our shadow is, and that's what I wanted to lead on to, bro. Shadow work. Like if you can sit down with your demons and say, "Hey, bro, open
So
up." What's up, Patrick? Open up and say, "Hey, like this is who I am." Like, and this is what I need to fix, not say this is who I am and I'm going to stay that way. No, fuck that. Do you know how small that mindset is? This is how I am, and I'm always going to, Manny, what's up, my brother? I'm always going to be that way. That's some fucked up shit, don't you think, bro? Like, how can you sit your ass down and say, I'm that way, babe. I'm always going to be that way, and you can't change me? How would you feel, bro?
Bro, but I would feel like shit. First of all, because I'm not one to stay that same way. If if I'm doing something, I'm going to change it. I'm not gonna keep doing the same mistakes.
But as a visualizing the predator, visualizing the person that does the victimization, what do you think they go through on a mental basis? Like they feed these thoughts to this person, and I've seen it first and foremost from other people around me. Like it's
Well, their self-esteem drops, obviously.
self-esteem drops. It's people who aren't open. It's people who can't close their way of being, who are not open to change. People who live this life like on a derivative. Like fuck, bro. Like Chris just said, man, it's willpower. And a lot of people with bad mindsets or low self-esteem or low mindsets, they'll feed onto that. And they'll continue to build that cycle. And I'm not saying that the predator is at fault, because who knows if that predator got beaten or got raped by their parents or did some shit. Or maybe the person on the other side who is the victim started the whole problem. You know what I'm saying? Like there's more to than just the first picture. Like a lot of people don't understand. You got to open the book. Like you can't just look at it and say, "Oh, this is what it's about." Like you got to flip the pages. You know, people don't understand the fact that people want to be filled with their love. Like right now, brother. Right now, if I talk to you and I tell you all these things, and I don't let you talk, I'm filling your cup, but you're not filling mine, right? So that relationship is half-assed. But if I let you now speak and I ask you for your input, I'm bringing you in and I'm wanting you to fill my cup because I love you and I care for you, right? But not a lot of people can say that shit. Like, who can sit down in front of a homie and say, I love you, bro? Like, shit, I'm down for you, bro. I'll help you out with whatever you want. Nobody has the balls to fucking stand up and say, I feel this way. I want to feel that way. Or say it to any other woman. People think that we're bound to one relationship, bro. But in true reality, a lot of people that are broken will figure out that more people around you will heal you, right? Because if you have more relationships, you have more thoughts to feel or more thoughts to hear. It's like I give you one perspective, or I tell you right now, like let's say, bro, you can't go to church, dog. You go to church, you're gonna go to hell. You can't go to church, bro. And then you end up going to church and you meet this homie who's open as fuck, and he's telling you, hey homie, like I see you're going through this and I see the shadow on you. I'm gonna give you a hug because I love you. And then boom, another person you meet, another person you meet, another person you meet. But what would have happened if you listened to George and he would have told you, bro, don't go to that place? You would have stayed a rock, right? Closed. You wouldn't be able to do nothing. You wouldn't have flourished. So never listen to anybody that tells you don't do nothing, right? That's the first red flag. Like if you go on a date with somebody and they're like, no, you can't talk to that friend, or no, you can't talk to that homie. That's the first red flag. Like how gullible can you be?
So when people tell me that, I don't listen, bro. I always have to talk to them and find out for myself.
What do you mean?
Like, why are they saying this? So I always have to go and dig for myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are they saying this? Like, so I go and I talk to them and be like, hey, so what's going on with this? And then they'll tell me, or and I'll be like, okay, well that stays between me and you. This is where it ends. That's it. Like, I'm not gonna go and be like, hey, well, so and so told me this, because then all I'm gonna do is start arguments.
Exactly.
And I'm not even like about arguments, bro. Honestly, I feel like, do you feel like when two broken people meet
They heal.
and they heal each other?
Yeah.
Do you believe in that?
You know what the worst part is? And girls, I'm saying this, and I know we have some girls here on the podcast, but if you think about it, if you work so much on a man and vice versa, if you work so much on a woman and you work so much on it, at the end of the day, that woman that was broken, man or woman that was broken, is not going to be yours. You're working on that man or that woman for their future relationship, not right now. Doesn't that fucking hurt? Doesn't that fucking hurt? That's like the big epiphany, bro. It's like you're not gonna work on somebody. Like if you meet a broken person and you guys are going at it and going at it and going at it, and it just never ends. Why do you think that happens? It's not something that you'll think like, shit, like I'm fucking up. I want to fix it and I want to help her. No, it's like a repetitive cycle. You go through it, you go through it, you go through it until one of you decides to change. And then if one changes, they're like the other one's vibrating out, and they're like, "What the fuck's going on? Do I got to get out of the picture, or do I need to help this person too?" because they don't understand why their habits are changing. Why is it changing? Why is he going to the gym? Why is he doing this? Why is that happening? Should I go with him or should I leave?
Okay, so what I'm saying is, in
You
these
can't
broken people,
heal everyone else's pain if you can't work on yourself first. I learned that years ago. Boom.
yeah. But what I'm saying is, like, if two broken people meet, but they're not at each other, they're actually growing and healing together.
Well, that's
You
what's
think
called
that
a
is
kindred
possible?
soul. That's what's called a kindred soul, brother. It's like you guys come into certain relationships, or anybody comes into a certain relationship for a fucking reason. It's like, how can you say, I love this person, but I don't really love you at the end of the relationship? Obviously, shit happened. Obviously, shit was worked on. You guys were both healed, right? And then now you meet this other person, and this other person is something that you've never expected in this world. Like, you never expected this person to ever say, or you never expected this person to ever do for you, because now you're learning the first thing, that love that you always wanted is always there. It's just that you never give it back. You might feel like you're reciprocating or you're giving it to somebody, but at the end of the day, is that person really feeling it? Is that person really there for you, bro? I'm gonna tell you this 100 times. I'm pretty sure I told you before. But once you meet that person, it's like a sparkle in your eye. It's like that feeling that it never dies. You can't stop thinking about that person. You guys speak on a daily basis, even after the honeymoon phase. And I'm pretty sure you've seen relationships like that where you're like, how the hell can they keep up? Like, you guys have been together for so many years. Like, how is it that you guys don't fight? They do fight. It's just they keep it hidden. But those couples end up triumphing and going through whatever things they go through because of what they went through. There's a lot of shit that we don't see, and that's what I'm saying. You can't read a book without opening it. Like you're saying, bro, self-awareness, social awareness, self-management, relationship management. Those are the four pillars to emotional intelligence. You can say I love you, but do you mean it? You can say I hate you, but do you mean it? You can say I'm hella happy for you, but do you mean it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I really do. But like, okay, for instance, like my previous relationship, I didn't realize it was. I shouldn't say I didn't realize that it's constant. It's constant work, bro. It is constant work. It's like a whole nother job. You gotta make these women feel loved, regardless. You gotta make these women feel appreciated.
My
Because
brother just said the X, and it was a job. So that's the X. Don't put that on the future relationship
no,
because the
I'm
future
just saying.
relationship.
What I'm trying to get at is, like, if you don't like take time away from, like, let's say, because I do the podcasting, right? So I do the podcasting 3 times, maybe 4 times a week, in a week. So doing the podcast takes time away from your family. When you take time away from your family, what happens? You start arguments, you start fights. Like, you're doing that more than spending time with your family.
You brought it up. What I just said, bro. You just brought it up. The tendencies. Once they start seeing you vibrate out of that motion, where they're like, "Why the fuck is he spending so much time on the podcast? What about us? We barely even went to the movies. We barely even did this. We barely even did that. How about me? What about me? Me. Fucking shit, bro. It's the me. Shut it up. Like, if that person is not for you, you're gonna feel that. You're gonna feel like that person is so egocentric. Like I was telling you earlier, like these are the ways to identify low emotional intelligence: aggressiveness, demanding, egoistical, bossy, confrontational, easily distracted, glib, selfish, poor listener, impulsiveness. Now, good high quality and emotion of high intelligence: assertiveness, ambitious, deriving, decisive, warm, enthusiastic, sociable, charming, persuasive. Now, people would think that persuasion is a bad thing. How is it a bad thing if somebody's trying to take their time to persuade you, to guide you into something, or even persuade you into eating food? It could be the easiest thing. But people take that as a bad thing, persuasiveness, because of sales. Because that guy around the corner is trying to sell you perfume and they're trying to persuade you into something. But that's the highest peak. I learned that within a couple of years, bro. I've learned that recently. if you go up to somebody and you're passing by a salesperson, right? And they
Hmm.
ask you, hey, you want to buy something? And you automatically shut down and you say no, you just gave up that person's value. You just gave up that person's demeanor. You just gave up a relationship by you just saying no to a person that was just trying to make their job or do their ends meet. They're not a bad person, right? Yo, Ro,
Hey, what's up, bro? No, they're not. But I don't know. I do that all the time, though. Like they'd be like, "Hey, you want to try this perfume, this cologne?" No, I'm good, brother. Thanks.
have you ever seen the movie Yes Man, bro?
Yes,
That's who
yes.
you
I
gotta
watched it
be.
last night.
That's who you gotta be, bro. That's who you gotta be. Never say no to any circumstance. No, I'm not saying to go give your money to a homeless person. What I'm saying, what I'm saying is, don't say no to those opportunities because those opportunities are gonna bring little strikes, here and there. You're gonna open up that box and it's gonna be like a Pandora box. You can't stop that flow once you open it, bro. It's like it's a feeding conversation, and I feel so emotional about this conversation, bro, and so intrigued, and I feel like I have grown with you these past months, but I feel more out of my circle. But when I talk about snakes or I'm interviewing a person, I tend to shut myself down more, where I like to hear you out because I want to hear your story, obviously, right? But like this, I'm so determined because I went through it. You went through it. I mean, as a kid, my siblings were all raped, bro, by my own father. I never grew up with him. All of them went through that, and my dad molested me and molested my brother, and we went through that bullshit. And at the end of the day, I looked at him as the greatest person in the world until I went to therapy and figured out what was going on with me and what the hell. It was like until I figured out, and what I mean by therapy, I didn't go to a therapist. What I'm talking about is me helping myself, realizing what I went through, realizing that I had these wounds internalized within myself, and that shit hits hard, bro. Like I'm pretty sure you went through some type of emotional distress. That's why this conversation arose.
Yeah, a lot, a lot of emotions, a lot of distress. I mean, there's a shit ton, bro. I mean, it's just gotta learn to elevate yourself.
But tell me, what's your scenarios, bro? What built that assertiveness in yourself? What gave you that high esteem? What built yourself up? What made you work out? Like, have you already done that, or is it something that nurtured you through your depression, or if you ever went through depression?
Bro, no, actually, when I went through depression, I actually tried to kill myself. Like, I actually tried sleeping pills, the whole stuff, gun in the mouth, stuff like that. You know, very depressed states. I don't like talking about it, but yeah, I mean, pretty much that's.
Hey, you're being honest, bro. You're being
I
honest.
mean,
You don't like
that,
to talk about it, but do we have to?
but
Do we have to? Yeah.
that's what it was until I got into the gym. Now the gym is my, I want to say, like, safe haven. If I have to fucking go de-escalate somewhere versus taking it out on somebody that I don't want to, then I'm going to the gym because I already know that if I get to that certain point, I'm gonna explode, dude. I'm a bomb, and nobody can stop me, and that's the bad part. I'm like a, I'm not saying I'm a ticking time bomb, but like if I get to that point, I do explode.
Well, that's a good thing. I mean, don't ever hide that emotion. You
Stay,
know,
my daughter knows.
people will
That's
say it's
my
very
daughter.
bad. Just don't hide that emotion, bro. Beat the shit out of the wall, break something, but don't let it just build. Like you're saying, you go to the gym and you work it out. How can you manage that without going to the gym? Hell yeah, Patrick. You guys are both strong men. You are strong too, brother. I can feel that as well, man. You speak the truth. A lot of truth comes from that, man. God is within. God is within.
There's a, I mean, like I said, there's a lot. It's just, I don't know, man. I never really had anybody to talk to
Mm-hmm.
like I do you or um what's his name from Epic Reptiles. Shit, what's his name?
Well, that's
But
the relationships that come, brother. Like, you open up that bottle. Like, don't let that genie just stuck in there. Like, if that genie needs to come out and do some crazy ass shit and rock this planet with the podcast or rock this planet with some crazy ass thoughts, do it, bro. Don't hold yourself back. Like, I can feel that you have a lot of potential, bro. Like, a lot of people have a lot of potential. I'm not just saying you, but a lot of people have a lot of potential, but they don't push it up because they're afraid to be themselves.
bro, I honestly feel like I forgot how to do that. I feel like me right now, that is me being me.
Mm.
Even though I feel like there's still probably more I could like, probably not fully myself, but if I were like myself, I'm just always joking around. I don't I don't
But
take shit seriously. I try
the,
not to anyway.
the wounds are what help you, bro. The wounds are what help you. That's what makes. If you can't laugh, if I can't joke with you, if I can't make you laugh right now, I need to get the fuck out of this place. Because if a person can't have a simple gesture just to say, "Hey, bro, you look pretty stupid today. Like your fucking beard is horrible," and we laugh about that. You know how beautiful that
Oh my god. Yeah,
is.
yeah, I get you on that.
It's like
Like,
you have
bro,
to have that sensibility to know that life is beautiful to laugh about it. You can't be so fucking sensible and depressed and say, shit, I'm so hurt because somebody called me this today, or I'm so hurt because this person made me feel this way. Well, sit with that emotion. Sit with the fucking emotion and know that you feel that way because you're feeling some type of way about it. I had this conversation with the homie earlier this week, and he's like, bro, there's a certain way that I feel about like Hispanic people, and he told me, he's like, you're a fucking bag. And I was like, okay, bro, chill out. Like we're on the channel, we're doing this or whatever. And then he's like, imagine if my shit got leaked and my dumbass saying this stuff to you. I'm like, bro, if you think about it, like that's you're internalizing that, right? It's fucking funny because I don't give one shit about what you call me about my ethnicity because I've been called that my entire life. It comes and it goes. But some people, bro, some people in my family would take it to the extreme. I would take it to the extreme. When I was in prison, when I was in jail, I went with the bisons because that was my blood.
yeah,
Anything rolls out, I had to roll out too.
yeah. That's pretty much how it is in jail, bro. So they say they say I look white, so I would have gone with the whites.
Yeah, you would have been a whitey tighty, bro. You would have been washing yourself first, eating before everybody else. Fucker.
Dude, that's fucked up.
It's all good. I love you, Cracker.
But what I was gonna tell you though, like it's I feel like it's easier for us as men, I guess, to open up to other men. But like when it's women trying to open up, I feel like it's a lot harder for them unless they're comfortable to open up to you.
You haven't met a real woman.
Well,
Now you have. Now you have.
I'm like, I mean, I don't know because she like just let it all out.
That's a real woman, bro. A real woman will break open herself because she wants you to know who she is. If she didn't love you, she didn't want to show those wounds to you. That person's gonna think they're perfect if they haven't healed. A person who thinks they're perfect obviously has a shit ton of wounds. Bro, nobody's perfect on this planet. Nobody.
But we ain't nobody perfect, but we all have
No.
flaws. Yeah. Hey, you know what, bro? You saying that making me think like, fuck. I haven't told her all my flaws.
Ooh.
I
Ooh.
haven't broke open my shit completely.
What are you
Like
holding back? What are you hiding?
I'm hiding my anger, bro. Like I do have. Well, I did tell her I do have an anger problem. Like I don't like people getting in my face. I don't like being told what to do. Uh,
Big
but I'm
ass
like,
problem, bro.
I do, bro, I do. Like even my captain, when he got in my face and tried to belittle me, dude, I almost fought my captain in the jail. Like I hate being talked down to. Like if you're gonna, okay, so it's different. There's talking down to you and making you feel belittled, and then there's somebody like talking at you and like making you feel like a person, like, back and forth.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna talk down at me and make me feel little, like you're higher than me, then I'm definitely gonna put you back down.
Yeah. Why? Why do you want to put them down?
Like I'm gonna bring them down because that's just
But doesn't
my
that make you egoistical as well?
huh?
Doesn't that raise your ego
As well, because
Yeah,
you're wanting to humble somebody because you want them to be at your level. We're all special in our own fucking way, bro.
I know, but it's just anger, bro. I think we all have anger issues. I think that's just it's a man thing. But I
Yeah,
mean,
because we have high testosterone. We just need to know our anatomy. That's why I'm saying if we know the fact that there is a point that our anatomy works one way and women's works another way, why would we take advantage of our testosterone? Why would we take advantage of the fact that we have higher willpower or lower willpower? Because in reality, a woman has a higher willpower than strength, right? It's anatomy that a woman can't pick up certain weight until she builds her body. It's obvious that a higher percentage of women will do certain things that a man can't. I'm not saying that a woman can't do it. What I'm saying is anatomy works the way it does, and we're a social construct. I'm not saying that it's a hierarchy or a person is higher than the other. What I'm saying is that we need to understand how our anatomy works. Like shit. Like if you have a high pitch of testosterone, and I'm not saying that people as women or men are born that way. Some people are, where they already just come with that picture of them having that composure.
and they're
But
lucky.
and they're lucky.
But what about the people that are imbalanced? Like people that
Seem to have a higher pitch of sets or that went through a high stress level when they were 5 years old. And this is a statistic that I learned recently as my wife was pregnant. A kid between the age of 1 year old to 5 years old does not need any stress. You can't tell them, hey, don't do that. Quit that shit. Because you're putting them in that level of stress. Because the brain is barely developing. They're barely understanding that you're standing there. They're understanding that you're their parent. They're understanding what love is. And then you're fixating them on picking up their shit or not doing things the right way. It's like you're hindering them. It's like you're taking off their inspiration. And that's what a lot of people went through. Like I remember being belittled by my mother, by my father, because they were narcissistic or because they have their own issues. Now that I look back at it, I'm like, shit, it's not their fault. It's that they didn't know. They didn't fucking know better. Now that I know that, I have compassion for them. I have empathy. My dad is a piece of shit. He's dead. Fuck him. But my mom is still alive. I have empathy for her because she was raped. She was used and trafficked. My mom was fucking. She was adopted by her own pimp.
Damn.
like
It tortures me like on a daily that I felt the way I did as a kid, that I didn't show her love because of the fact. And when a woman is hurt, bro, it fucking hurts me. Like if you put your hands in front of me of a woman, I'll go AWOL. Just like you that boundary is broken.
but at the same time,
We as men have to know how to tame that lion.
Bro, but the only way to tame that lion is gym for me. I feel like that's my scapegoat. It's it's what decompresses me. So
yeah, George, I promise you, bro.
Bro, we have been through similar things. It was meant for me to tap into this life. Patrick, we need to link up, brother. Maybe get you on the podcast. I understand you, brother. You're good. Much love to you. Sending you good vibrations. We need to talk soon. You see what I mean, man? You see what I mean? Like these contacts don't happen for no reason, man. Like there is no illusion of what things happen or how things could happen for you. Babe, is it important what you just sent me?
Give me 1 second, bro. Babe, baby, is it important?
What you just sent me?
Oh, okay.
My bad. Just checking it because she sends me a messages. I just wanted to see if she wanted anything. Go ahead, brother. What were you saying?
I would have done the same thing. Like, so that's how I am now versus like before, because now that I'm starting to understand, you know, like what I have to do versus, I guess he called it training me.
Oh shit. Narcissist
Like,
101.
bro, what the fuck does that mean, bro? I trained you.
Oh fuck.
I had to train you to love me.
Maybe
What?
you did.
Maybe she did get trained. Maybe that's why she feels. Maybe that restraint of feeling is more intuitional to her, and that's how she makes herself feel better.
Bro, so that was the ex said that. So now the other one, like I said, now the other one, uh, it's different. It's like we know, like we know what we want to do without asking each other. Or I'll do little things and be like, "Here you go, I got you one," and she's like, "Oh, you thought of me." Like, okay, you know, it-
Doesn't matter, bro. Like you can't expect things to change just because like that, and say, babe, I changed my attitude. Let's fix it. We're done. Let's not fight anymore. No, like it's babe, let's go on a hike. Like, babe, let's go kayaking. Or, babe, let's go to the mountain. Or, babe, let's do this. Like, weird ass shit that you might have not done ever. And then that brings up the situation where you're like, oh shit, I like doing this with this person. And then you start seeing that person because you guys both are alone. And I'm saying this because kids do matter, but you guys matter too. Like, how can you fixate yourself around that life and not have time to go on a single date with yourself? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't give up that time to actually know that person and do things with them, like when I first met my wife, we were together for we've been together for 11 years. We've been through a lot of shit. I put her through hell, a lot of hell. Like, it's insane. I don't think I deserve her at certain days. I know I deserve her because I know who I am, but certain days I'm like, holy shit, like how the fuck did you stick around? Like, why? And how am I supposed to keep this angel here with me? And then that's the way I look at her because I love her. She's my angel. She's my savior. And it's like the moment that we started dating, we would go to Cali, we would go on trips, road trips, or whatever, because I wanted her to know that where she came from wasn't just it. And I was a young ass kid at the age of 17, flying back and forth, going everywhere. Like, what the fuck? Like, it was out of this world for her. So we made her create her this construct where we had, that the communication, or we did our things, and we allowed ourselves to grow in that way. I might have hindered her in certain ways by being egoistical and putting other people in my path. But at the same time, as me being a piece of shit, I found that those people taught me the best lessons. Like, these people might have taught me things that I didn't know of, how to respect my wife or how to grow it within the person. Even to this day, I still feel like I'm a piece of shit sometimes, where I might give in to certain emotions or feelings with another person, and I hold myself back now because I just recently learned that it's not something that just happened the day after tomorrow. Like, it takes a lot of balls to say and acknowledge that you've been a piece of shit because you've done that to your wife. And I'm not saying that I have lots of balls, but I know what I've done to her, and I honestly, bro, to this day, I'm like, fuck. Like, how is it that I still have her here in my arms? Like, I don't deserve that.
so what do you call it when you already know that woman's already been through that and you don't want to do that anymore?
We're ready to leave.
You're ready to leave. You're ready to go, dude.
No,
It's
like
like
you don't want to put her through that same shit. So you, I guess, try to
if
avoid.
you're if you're aware that you're doing that shit and you're gonna continue to do it because you're putting that in your head, why the hell are you gonna put that person through that torture? Like, it's that saying: if you love it so much, let it go. If you love it so much, let it go. It's yours. It was yours. That person will always be in your heart. They will always love you. But at the end of the day, if you love it so much, let it go. And if you don't love it, you never did.
I understand that. I do. But like what I'm saying is like, okay, from let's say you and your wife split up, right? You meet another girl and she's already been through trauma like that. So what? do you take to that relationship, like
Her relationship or mine?
to the new one?
To mine, what I would bring, nothing, because I don't think I would put myself in another situation if I would be with another. If I would leave my wife the day after tomorrow, I don't think I would be able to put myself in a relationship because I was a very open person before I met her. I didn't have relationships until I met my wife. I had my first relationship, if that makes sense.
Okay.
It was like I'm a very open book, bro. Very open book. Very open.
I mean, I
But
can be too, but sometimes I get like not. I can be really open, but then I get uncomfortable. Why? I don't know.
You might
Like
not
I'm
be
in
like
your shoes, or something is happening, or something is arising that makes you feel uncomfortable, or maybe that uncomfortableness is the rise to something better, and you're holding yourself back.
I don't know. Sometimes it is hard for me to talk to openly, but when I do confide in her.
in the new babe.
Huh?
And your new wife or your new girlfriend.
Yeah, and the new yes, my new girlfriend.
And she
But
confides.
yeah, she confides to me.
Yeah, see, those are the boundaries that are being set. They're being established. Like we mentioned that earlier this week, bro. Like if you can set up a boundary with somebody and let them know, like, babe, I need this time to decompress because I'm this way and I'm fixing myself, and I want you to be part of it.
Bro, it's funny you say that because it's exactly what she said. It's exactly what she just said. It's exactly what she said. She's like, the only
Women
thing I did,
Want to be understood, bro. They want to be part of the understanding.
and that's what I'm starting to learn because I'm gonna give you another example because, like, remember I told you we had this talk and I thought she wanted to start an argument, and I thought it was an argument. So I was like, look, I'm not gonna argue with you, and I left the room. And then she goes and sits in the living room, and I come back, and I'm like, why are you crying? Because she was crying. And she's like, everybody always thinks I'm trying to start an argument. And I was like, well, I thought you were. I'm sorry. I'm trying to learn and understand you, because this is all new for me. So I'm trying to open up and try to understanding you. And I honestly thought you were like trying to start an argument, which it wasn't. She was just trying to express feeling. And that was my fault because I was quick to react on like argument. I thought it was an argument. So
Well, you showed your wound.
You
I
showed that wound.
I was like that was my fault, my bad. I should, listen to you before I say anything, you know. And I've been in relationships too where I always had to have uh like I'm always on the defense. So when somebody like starts talking to me or yelling at me, I'm quick to defend myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when that happened, I thought she was trying to start. When that happened, I thought she was trying to start an argument, and I was quick to react in defense mode.
Do you catch yourself?
Yourself in that instinct when you're like, oh shit, I'm about to leave. Do you
Yo,
catch yourself?
sometimes yes, okay, it's sometimes I do that. Like I get in that defense mode, and I'm like, fuck, I want to fucking just dip out. Like I want to leave. I don't want to be here now. Why is that? Like I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I'm sometimes I want to be like, so do you want me to leave or? But I don't ever say that though because I know that's wrong. In the back of my head, I know that's wrong because all that's gonna do is just piss her off more or hurt her or make her cry.
Now take that circumstance, instead of directing it to her, be like, babe, and hold off on it a couple hours or maybe a day. Be like, babe, remember that time when we were going through that and that happened? I was about to spike. Have you ever caught me doing that? And then be like, can you help me?
And then let it go. And then she will know how to help you.
By reacting to it. She'll be like, babe, you're clicking out. And she has to make sure that that tonality is adequate. Tonality plays a lot of part because if you use your tone and she's like, babe, what are you doing? What are you going to do? What do you mean what I'm doing? I'm just trying to get this shit done. But if she comes, hey, babe, I love you. I see you. I'm aware. Are you aware? Do you see the different tone?
I don't know. I can't hear your headset went out.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Where did I leave off? Where did you
Hold
last
on.
hear me?
Where you snapped your fingers and then you just completely went blank.
Okay. So imagine she tells you about tonality, right? When I was saying about tonality is how we speak to that person. Imagine she says, babe, you're about to flip. What the hell? What would you do? You would flip too, right?
I probably flipped.
But what if she told you, babe, I love you, I see you, I'm aware.
I mean, well, that's different because that's what I would tell her.
So then when you guys have that conversation, tell her, babe, I need your help. And when she asks you back, how? I need you to speak to me in a different tone when I'm about to flip. Because I'm this way right now. And I'm willing to change for you, but I myself don't have the awareness and I want to put this on your shoulder a little bit because I want to lean on you. Does that make sense? You want to lean on that person because I love you and I want you to lean back on me. So in the times that we feel that way, when you feel like you need to decompress, the same way I want you to come and lean on my shoulder and tell me what's going on. Because the more we put that shit under the carpet, what's going to happen?
It's just gonna build. Just gonna build.
It's simple love, bro. All this abuse, all this hate, all of this comes from our own wounds since we were small. Don't people don't like to talk about their youth? Yeah, it's almost like asking to hit the reset button, not the launch button. In a sense,
Yeah, I can see what Will's talking about.
that gave me the shivers, man.
It did, right? I was like, I see what he's talking about. So yeah, dude. So I mean, like she says things that catches me off guard, and I do tear up though because in previous relationships, um, speaking from my experience,
I thank you, bro. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank
I'm
you.
speaking from yeah, you're good, Will. Don't be sorry. That was good. Um, from speaking from previous relationships, like I feel like all those relationships taught me to be the man who I needed to be today. You know, all the abuse that I went through with my first ex-wife, like how she used to. I don't like saying this, but she used to hit me and beat me, and then say I beat her. Like she literally, like I left for a week, and she beat herself with like a hammer and stuff, and tried to get pictures and tried to call the cops on me and frame me. I was like, yo, I wasn't even like over there. Like you're tripping. Like I'm talking about like toxic shit like that, dude. Like my life's been crazy. And that was like my first ex-wife though. Like after that, I mean, there was other stuff. Drugs were involved. Uh, we tried to. Oh, and then my son got sick, real sick. Almost lost my son, my first son, Chaz. He had some disease called Kawasaki disease. So if you don't know what that is, it's a disease that makes the tongue strawberry red, swells up in the back of your throat, and you get temperatures of 102. If you can't bring the temperatures down, then they have to do blood transfusions. That means the red blood cells are attacking the white blood cells. So
Yo, my brother, Elias. Go ahead, bro. I'm sorry to cut you off.
what's up, Elias? Um, so they had to do white cell blood transfusions to my son. But even at that, he was in the hospital for 2 whole months. They kept sticking him with needles, trying to figure out what was going on. Next thing you know, there's a priest coming into the room trying to pray over my son, telling him, yeah, it's the final words. Like, y'all got anything to say? They prayed over my son. 5 minutes later, he flatlines, bro. My son flatlines for 5 minutes. I was gone. He comes back. And my son's 17 now.
And that might have been a real.
Realistic point for you, huh, bro?
Dude, so that, and just, like I said, there's abuse in the relationships, like verbal abuse. Like, I really didn't notice or saw because we were doing it back and forth. And now that you're, like,
Because you
explaining,
attract it. It's a magnet, bro. It's like if you say like put a magnet, right? We have a magnet right here. What's going to be attract? The same object, right? The same square. But the moment that magnet is flipped, right? If you put the positive to the negative, what's going to happen? Everything is going to be pushed off, right?
Mhm.
So that's where you're at. Like, if you see that in your relationships, that the same type of person comes in, like let's say this person's abusive, and then this other relation comes into you, and you see that person is broken too. It's your moment to understand that you got to help them heal, so that doesn't become a cycle. Because we are what we attract at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, you're right. And that's why I'm saying. So, like, from
No, I'm
all
not right,
those,
bro. Don't say that shit. I'm not right.
so from
I don't know bullshit.
all those experiences to get where I am now. And this is the crazy though. The crazy thing though, I was working at the club, and I never get like girls' numbers at the club. I never do.
No, what's the point?
I just don't like girls touch me at the club either anyway. But for some reason, she was consistent. So I was like, what the hell? It's just one number. It's fine. It's only her. So her sister was her sister, and then her sister's mom, and then I think a friend came and asked me for her number, but I gave it to the sister, and the sister went and gave it to her, and that's how we started talking. You know, I wasn't looking for nothing at the time, and and it's funny because the way we used to talk to each other, like I was ugly, bro. I was mean. I was mean. Um, oh my god, I was so mean. But anyways, so the way the relationship started to get to where it is now, it's crazy, bro. Crazy. Like I don't even talk to her that way no more.
Yeah, because that person
Might have helped you heal. How would you feel if you come into a certain, like, let's say you go into a Mexican restaurant and they serve you sushi? I'd be fucking pissed.
Like, what the fuck? I thought this was a Mexican restaurant. Where my enchiladas, bro? No, I'm joking. I wouldn't say that.
Where's my mole?
Where's my manila?
You're going too far there, whitey tighty.
But yeah, man. But I'm just saying, the way the story started, the beginning of our story, is weird. But at the same time, we like. She tells me every day too. She's like, "I see you change every day. Like, I see you changing slowly, and I love that you're changing." And I feel like I don't. Sometimes I feel like, you know, I'm still the same person, but apparently I'm not.
bro, because we're going to be hard on ourselves because we want to change. If you don't want that change, you wouldn't be hard on yourself. You think you'd be perfect. Look, hear this quote. It says,
We don't see reality, we see our reality, right? We
Mm.
don't see reality, we see our reality. Why? How does that make sense? What our eyes and ears hear, our eyes and ears take in. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
My
I think my antenna's
about it back. Electrical signals which our brains interpret based on our expectations. We don't see reality, we see our reality.
So those electrical signals that you see, like for example, if you see the color red, right?
And if you see somebody else next to you that they're colorblind and they're like, no, that's blue, both of you are fucking right.
How's that?
Because
His perception is he's fucking blind. And you are the way you see. So how is he wrong if he came to this world the way he came?
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of people don't know that perspective. Like, how can you be so sure of yourself and not give the three perspective line? I understand you. I understand my shoes. I understand what could happen if this comes out of my mouth. Because your reality is a different reality than mine. But that's what makes us the same. It's like what the Avatar said, bro. If you don't let go of the fact that you are special the way you are, as so everybody else is, then you understand that bigger picture of what we're here to do. Like, I'm not here for myself, bro. I'm not here to flaunt in myself and say, oh, I'm this big person who knows about relationships and all this shit. No, I'm a fucking ignorant little kid who doesn't know squat, who is trying to learn, who wants to become a better person. And maybe by me feeding off to this conversation, I might be able to learn something about myself and help within the process, maybe people around me.
Because
If I sit here and I say, okay, I'm going to flourish myself for my own egocentric self and build this empire, who the
fuck is going to support me?
who
Who
the
the hell is going to want to help me build a leg? It's like you can't build a village just by yourself. It's easy to blame ourselves. It is very easy to blame yourself. Bro, do you do a lot of blaming on yourself?
Me,
yeah.
I do. Like, oh, dude. So, okay, so like last night, for instance, she's like, oh man, because when she asks me questions, I'm always thinking she's trying to get the negative out of me. You know, like, so she asked me a question last night, man. Question was, how does that make you feel? And the question, and what she's been relating to was the things she does, like when I'm driving with her, she always has me in the passenger seat. So she calls me a passenger princess, you know? Or like or like any of those little things, like in the morning, I like waking up. Okay. So here's my thing. I never gotten up early with anybody. Anybody. And the matter of fact to brush her hair, like come on, bro. I didn't even want to brush my own hair. But
I'm going to tell you a line my stepdad told me when I was 15, 14 years old. Boy, you pussy whooped.
hell no, bro. It's more than that though. It's like I enjoy it though, dude. It's like
But you see
it's
what I mean? Do you see the differences between the relationship that you were in? You were oppressed, you were hated, you were not loved, and then it's a whole 360, right? I'm not saying that it happens like that for everybody. People might need to take 4 fucking years off, 5, 6, 7, 10 years. But there's situations where you're so tired of the same routine and you might be dependent because sometimes, and I'm just giving you this information just so you are aware, a person who goes in from one relationship to the other tends to be more of a dependent person on people, where they have to depend on love. They have to depend on someone to be there in order to succeed. I'm not saying you're that way, bro, but that tends to be a higher percentage than adequate. Because if you're used to a habit that you've done for 4 years, that you have to wake up to somebody and then out of nowhere they're gone, bro, it's obvious you're gonna feel some type of way. Even though you hate the person, you're gonna feel some type of way where like shit, I'm alone. Like it's really only always been me that I've loved myself and nobody else has ever been there for me. But then there's situations like yourself. Like you jumped from this relationship and then took your time onto this one and you're figuring out, whoa, like what the hell? Like this person knows how to love. Like this person is trying to know how to love. Or maybe they don't know how to love and you both are figuring it out at the same time. But like I said, those relationships that you leave and you're like that girl that told you, your ex, she's like, I trained you how to love. Like shit, that hurts. That you might be feeling, what do you mean? Like, how the hell did you train me how to love? What the fuck?
so
I
yeah.
was the one
So
there.
so it did hurt because I was like, what the fuck? Like the fuck you mean? Like I did love you. Like I would have gave the world to you. But then at the same time I stopped and I thought about it. And I realized what she was talking about. You know what I mean? I didn't love her the way she wanted. I didn't give her that affection she needed. And I can honestly say that now. That's why I didn't say anything back. Why I left it as is.
Because you know that relationship is now matured.
That relationship has served its purpose. That's what your soul told you right there, bro. Like understand that those little signs, like when that shit happens, that you feel with the concrete feeling. I can't go back because if I go back, I'm going to change back to the person I was. And I like who I am right now. You got to be real with yourself. You can't just stay stuck and say, like, oh, I want to be that way. So I'm going to go back and talk to her and then see if we can fix shit. And then you're like sitting in the same bed together again. And then you're looking at the habits again and again and again. And you're like, holy shit, like, why is it not changing? Like, I just came back. We went through all this shit. We gave ourselves time. Why is it not changing? Like, what's different? How come when we left each other, we became a better person of ourselves? And I'm not here to tell you, leave them. What I'm here to say is understand who you are so you can understand how you're going to be on that next relationship. It's all about us, bro. It's never the person who's doing the victimization or the person who's being victimized. Because we're always going to look at each other and say, oh, I'm the victim, not you, because I was always there and you weren't. Like she said, I trained you how to love.
Bro, and it's crazy. It's crazy you said that because it's exactly what it was about. She was like here every out of a month, 4 times. So pretty much it was like whenever we wanted, I guess, sexual relations. I guess.
So now you're going back to that primal state where you're like, holy shit, I need a fuck, I need a love, I need to do this, I need to fornicate.
Oh, no.
You left me dry, bro. That's not cool.
No, it's my daughter. She's knocking on the door over here.
Oh.
She's trying to bother me and stuff when I'm on this podcast. No, so what I was getting at was, so she asked me that question, right? She's like, how does it make you feel? I said, well, I don't feel nothing. She's like, looked at me and she said, my stomach just dropped. I was like, fuck. Like, I said, like, when you ask me questions, I'm thinking you're like asking for the negativity. Like, I'm thinking you're trying to say, oh, does it make me mad that you do that or that I'm sitting in that chair? I said, so you got to be more specific versus how does that make you feel? Because literally, I was like zoned out. I wasn't thinking anything, and I just said what came to mind. I'm blank, like I was blank. So I was like, I don't feel nothing. And bro, I said that, and what she said, like that hurt my stomach. I was like, oh man, I felt like shit after that. I was like, look, you can't just come at me like that. You got to be like when I do these things for you, like how does that make you feel? See, that's different. Then I would have responded like, oh, I love those things. Versus I'm over here trying to think like you're trying to pick for like, does it make me mad? Do I get upset being in the passenger seat? Because I'm always used to driving. No, I don't care. 5 love languages. But
Gary Chapman, bro. Gary Chapman.
that's why I was like, damn, like I felt it, dude. I felt like shit.
Well, yeah, because like I'm saying, a woman has different needs than we have. A man has different needs than what a woman has. Let me tell you this statistic, bro. Do you know how crazy a woman's orgasm can be? It would fry her fucking brain. If you put that into perspective, what do you think? If you want to feel the way that a woman feels about love, you're not translating it together. There's no way. And even with my sister, she's gay, bro. She understands this book to the T because she's had those relationships where she can feel that emotion, but she's also had those relationships where she's had a gun held to her face. It's like, where do you put yourself in that position? And what I'm saying is that as a person, you have a feminine side and a masculine side, right? And as my sisters, this is the way she explained it to me. She's like, I'm gay. She's like, I feel that if I am attracted to a woman, it's not because of her butt. It's not because of her boobs. It's not because of her expressions. She's like, it's because of her eyes and the way that the person talks to me. That moment that you separate that from like physical attraction to emotional attraction, It's like you can actually be in silence with that person and still feel that person talking to you. Because have you ever had that feeling where you're like sitting with somebody and you're just like, shit, like I can communicate with you telepathically without even saying a word.
No. Well,
That's love.
And it'll get to that point, maybe with this person that you just met, where you're just like sitting with them in silence and you guys are the happiest you've ever been. Because words speak and they say, but do they express emotion? They can't. You might say I love you, you might say te amo, you might say all these things in different gibberishes, but words don't express what you actually feel because energy is electrical signal.
bro, I feel like kissing does. The way you kiss her. I feel like the way you kiss a woman can also say how much you love her.
Yeah. You know that kissing was
Never a thing until this century.
Huh. Did I know that?
in the 1800s.
They believed that touching another woman's mouth was obscene. It was like
Wasn't it like
gross.
creepy or something?
It was gross. They looked at it during the Renaissance, during the even Indian tribes. You would look at them and they would have intercourse, they would have coitus, but they wouldn't touch their lips because it was sacred. Your head was so sacred. It was flashed upon. And now we're so fixated on breasts and asses and lips because of what the media has transfunctioned in our head. It's like the more you look at sexuality, the more obscene it becomes, the more healthy it becomes. Howdy.
But yeah, dude, I know what you're saying because that's problems nowadays. All the social media, porn. I don't know, man. It's a lot of it out there.
There's a saying of a monk: the moment you leak yourself or express that out without that tender feeling, or if like there's certain meditation practices like Kama Sutra and like tantric practices that they push you through that sexuality. Talking quite Oh shit! Yeah, right at the moment. But when they push you through that tantric practice, bro, like let's say you're having sex with your lady, right? And before you're about to ejaculate, you imagine that semen is going to the top of your head, and you hold it, and that's called tantric because you're holding that energy. It's like bursting, and it's a way of opening up creation. They believe that when a woman wants to create her future and a man together, they both ejaculate at the same time, and that's what tantric practice is. It's not that they're ejaculating in each other; they're ejaculating within themselves because the ecstasy of what's happening, it pushes you to become better. It's almost like you're turning on the faucet with with sexuality. And there's many practices with other things. You could paint a bush and still have the benefit of doing that, of feeling bliss or happy and knowing that you can do anything in this planet. That's why we linger as humans. We want to have intercourse with other people because we feel that we want to become attached to whatever energy that person is.
We need to know how
And when, and if it is okay for us to do so, not just fuck like fucking rabbits like people are right now.
But I feel like, you know how, okay, so speaking on that, like,
Easy. Go to a church, you can make a lot of things sweet.
so you know how you're speaking on that, if you're like, if you want porn, I say, why don't you just make it with your woman?
Well, that's the thing, bro. That I wasn't. How can I say it? I'm not pushing people to watch these things. What I'm saying is
Oh,
focus
yeah, I
on the
know
shit
that.
that you do. Focus on the things that you need to fucking do to focus on yourself to grow. Because porn, all this shit is addictive shit that's gonna hinder you. At the end of the day, every goddamn guy that's watching me right now is watching porn at night. Whether you like it or not. You
Who you
like
put at
that?
me?
Everybody who's watching right now, bro. Every one of you guys are wanking your yanker. And you need to stop. I'm 100% telling you, you need to stop. You want to grow? You want to fucking do shit? You want to have the stamina that you've never had? Quit yanking your wiener. I'm 100% with you, bro.
Take some testosterone.
Based on testosterone.
No, that's what I take, bro. Like, and no lie, that shit. Like, I use that testosterone stuff. I have to mix it with the trend. So test boosts my test. So at the same time, meaning I'm more aggressive.
Too much on my prostate. Oh shit, I'm weak. Oh fuck. You
Hey,
got me off guard there, bro.
I was like, what? Wait, wait.
Oh
Well,
shit.
I'm on that test. So like at the same time, test also makes you super aroused.
Mhm.
So I'm just like, damn. So I'm always aroused.
Yeah, I've never had to take shit for that, man. On the contrary, I think I'm just a horny fucker.
Well, I mean, you're one of the blessed ones because
I'm the best one. I'm 27. 27. I'm not that
no,
one.
but it's crazy though, dude. I'd be like right now when I'm with her, I'm like that though. I'm like ready to go.
Jerking the jerking. Yeah, bro. Sexuality, like I said, it's meant to be expressed with the human. Like how is it that you're trying to elevate your persona when you're spilling your life? That's your bodily fluid. I'm not sure if you've done any studies, bro, but we have this thing called in your head a pineal gland, right? And that cerebrum has this fluid that has these anticeptors or receptors that are called anticannabinoids or cannabinoids, and that's where the weed industry kind of took advantage. They're like, huh,
We're gonna make everybody fucking take weed and smoke. Facts. My wife hates me sometimes because of tests.
He gets me. He knows what I'm talking about.
he's doing the tea.
That shit,
Bro,
bro.
you
That
threw me
shit.
off track, bro. What the hell was I saying?
You said we're gonna get everybody weed and something.
Oh, okay. So like,
The cannabis industry took advantage of it. They're like, everybody has cannabinoids in their head. So everybody must have smoked a shit ton of weed back in the day. So everybody started looking at it as it's a pro health thing. Okay, let's get that involved. And they pushed that narrative. But in true reality, those cannabinoids can produce methamphetamine, which is DMT, and that's being activated stimulately just by yourself. You don't have to. You don't have to fucking smoke weed. You could randomly walk up behind her. She's like, "What the fuck?"
Dude. Oh my god. I get that because I felt that too.
Oh, Manny, 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 Manny.
But yeah, go on.
Like I was saying, bro, like they took advantage of the cannabinoids. They took advantage of the fact that we can produce that same type of thing. And how do you think we produce that DMT? With our sperm. So
Okay, that makes sense.
you're juicing this shit out, right? When in reality, why do you think they produce free porn, bro? Why do you think they produce all of this shit? Because they don't want you to know the fact that when you stop jerking the jerkin, you're gonna flourish. You're gonna push yourself because it's so hard to fucking keep an erection down because all you're thinking about is coitus.
That's true.
How can you
That's
navigate
true.
life if all you're thinking about is that? How can you navigate life if all you're thinking about is procreating? It's kind of like how Morgan Freeman said it in one of the documentaries.
I
He's
would
like,
say I would say in my younger days, I at one point I did think about all I wanted was that. But now when I'm with her, I'm thinking about
how to better yourself.
how to get us together.
Mhm.
One roof.
Yeah.
Like what I'm like trying to look at the bigger picture. If you know what I'm saying?
And it's
Versus,
hard. It's hard to do so when all of these distractions and addictions are in the way.
I mean, that and the trauma and of course the abuse and other things play along in it too, though.
Bro, you ask a person right now, are you happy? How do you feel this morning? Oh, great. Yeah, fucking great. You just woke up, you took a shit, you wiped your ass. What do you mean you feel great? Tell me you feel bad. Tell me you feel some type of way so I can type or weigh or help you, or you can tell me so I can help myself. How is it that you wake up every morning saying, I feel good? You're fucking lying, bro. Like, come on. You cannot feel good about waking up, taking a shit, wiping your ass, and then doing the same thing over and over and over again. There's no life perspective in that, man.
Bro, so like for instance, like so she has this thing where she's like, how was your day? What was the highlight? What was the highlight of your day? So she's always asking like, "How's your day? What was the highlight of your day?" And I tell her my day was all right, and she's like, "What was the highlight of the day?" And then, God dang, dude, my phone keeps ringing. Um, and then I told her my highlight of the day would be like when we went to the park or seeing the kids run around, or something like that, or something. It's something fun, like something positive.
And what does she tell you back? Do you ask her the same question back?
Yeah, I always ask her. I always ask her the same question back, and she tells me, and then she'll laugh. And it usually is something I do something dumb, like I'll trip or something. She's like, "That was my highlight," just making her laugh.
Fucking Manny, bro. I don't need that shit, my man. Keep that shit away from me, bro.
Bro, I'm telling you, it's like horsepower.
No,
I'm talking about 8 hours long, bro.
bro. I have a hard time with my heart. I have high blood pressure, my man. Like, there's no
I
way
mean,
that you're gonna get me on that shit,
I did too, but I just jumped straight on it. Like
man.
I had two minor heart attacks. Had a minor, what was it, a little minor cardiac arrest. Like, bro, I still jumped on it.
I'm good with that, my man.
So,
Too much stimulation already.
yeah, see, you make 10 more.
Make 10 more kids easy. Bro, I'm on the third, my man. Cut it, Manny. You cut it there, bro.
He got fixed.
Shit. I want to get fixed, bro. I want to get fixed. I told my cat the other day, I was like, we need to go chop off your balls, bro. And they're doing a 2-for-1 deal, so let's go together. My cat said he'll go with me. I'm going to snip his balls and I'm going to snip mine too. Nah, bro, I heard that shit stings, honestly. I've done my research on it, and I heard that when you get a vasectomy when you're coming, it stings like a motherfucker.
Sting.
Yeah. You can't have sex
For like 6 months.
Yeah, I'm not getting fixed then.
fuck that.
I
6 months
told
is
my
too
lady, I
long.
was like, nah, I'm good. No, I'm
I
not
don't know.
even worried about the sex part. What I'm worried is like fucking stinging. I don't want my dick to sting.
I get that. I do. Nope. Need them all to stay afloat. Yeah. Yep. Well, I agree. So, what was the next topic that we were going to discuss?
Bro, we were talking about the 4 pillars. So we were on relationship management. How do you manage a relationship? So I honestly, bro, have not known how to do this at all my entire life because I'm the worst at texting back. I'm the worst at responding. I'm always late.
Communication.
And that needs to change. That needs to change. My communication has always been offbeat. And the reason that it is that way is because I take time to decide. I'm old soon. I'll be busting powder. Yep, that's you, Manny. But like, where was I at, bro? I just jumped off of.
The communication that you're bad at
Yes.
communication.
So like that needs to change, right? And I've been changing it. I feel like a lot of my relationships that I had within the past 4 years have kind of like sealed in. Like my boy Manny here, we talk every day, bro. Like you, uh, like it's insane, man. Like it comes back and forth when you actually put that effort into a relationship. Like we've been working business partners, or I've met up with other mentors that I've had within the past years, and like it gets more it gets more really fucking Manny, bro. Oh shit. Oh, fuck. I can't keep it serious now, bro. So like it becomes an issue, bro. Like when I'm not like connected, like my homie Manny here, bro. Like he had his problems or he had his issues that he was going through, and he helps me figure things out too. Like he stresses a lot. Like I have other people that hit me up too. Like they stress the fuck out because of these things that are happening with the relationships, because they're iffy of whether they said the right thing or they said the wrong thing. How can we use that to fix the predator, or how can we use that to fix the person that's being victimized? Because the predator obviously is dead. By the time that he did anything, that person's gone.
So the person left. What happened? It
Can you
died?
can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, this one's still on.
But so what happened? So that person left. That they were trying to fix the relationship, and one person left or something.
No. So that's what I'm saying. Like when you start fixing those relationships, like for example, my homie Manny, he was going through his shit, or he figures out that he stresses out, or like other people stress out too, and you push that off. Like you say, okay, I'm not gonna focus on that, right? I'm just gonna focus on the positive. But then all these fucking thoughts start coming up with the shit that you're doing on a daily. It could be the mundane thing, kind of like you, bro. Like you understand like how hot headed you can get, and you could be cooking dinner or cooking food, and then out of nowhere it just flicks you off, right? But
Yeah,
when you're aware of relationships and the management that you're taking into it, and you're aware of how the person really is and how you can navigate them, I'm not saying to keep them close, because ask my homie Manny here, bro, my brother. I tell him straight up, like you're fucking up, you're stressing out, you're doing shit wrong, you're doing it wrong, you're doing this wrong, bro. Like you're fucking up, and I tell him straight up because I love him. If I didn't love a person, I wouldn't put any time or any effort into that person. Because at the end of the day, if we cannot be reciprocated, no relationship would work. Like with love life or whoever, like it's always contradicting. Like, how do you feel about managing your relationships? What do you think you could do to better it, or how are you with your relationships?
bro, I'm with you because like, and communication's top one for me. I suck at communicating. I'm very bad at communicating. Even with some of you guys, like when it comes to the podcasting, like when I communicate with you guys, it's always like the last minute. I feel like because I'm always either doing something or I'm with my family or because right now I'm doing this thing where like my family's gonna come first. So so I feel like, and then she comes first too because I'm not trying to ruin another relationship because of my podcasting. So this is why.
Be aware of, talk to her, ask her, like, hey, are you cool with me doing this podcast?
Well, she's like, and it's funny you said that because the other day she was like, babe, go be in reality, go live, go do your podcasting, go be with your snakes. And she tells me that, but I'm just previous relationship. I'm just like, that's kind of hard for me to do. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe you weren't ready.
So I'm just like, I just feel like if I just continue to do the podcast, I feel like um I'm gonna probably like just focus on the podcast and not give her any attention.
Find that balance. Everything is about balance, bro. If you don't have balance in life, nothing works. I feel it myself sometimes too. I walk into the house and I go into the room and I don't grab the baby. My wife just had a baby. She's 3 months old, bro. And I feel that guilt sometimes where I'm like, shit, I'm not holding the baby enough, or I'm not putting my part, or I'm not doing things that I should be doing that might be adequate for her. I don't be hard on yourself, but be aware of what's going on around you, and that's taken a lot of effort, bro. Like I was saying with my homie that I was paying, he chewed my ass out. He's like, "You're not aware, dude." He's like, "You talk so much awareness, you do all this bullshit, but you're not aware that you don't know how to fucking paint." And I'm like, "What am I doing, bro?" Like, I thought I was cutting and right, and I've never painted like professional painting or like good painting. I've never done it. But he was trying to teach me a lesson that you can go into new things as you observe and do a good job. You don't have to go in as a beginner and start fresh. You can teach these things to your relationships and teach it to your loved ones and heal at the same time with them. That's what that taught me, bro. How to paint. I felt like fucking Mr. Miyagi and the Karate Kid when he was telling me that shit. Wow. Up and down, up and down.
Face to face.
And it was so revealing, bro, about myself that I was fucking up, that I was doing something wrong because I wasn't full aware. And the problem is right there that I felt him because he was doing the job for people that we love, for people that he cares about, right? How come are you being careless? He's like, how come you're not aware of how you're doing this? Then he had another fellow working with him, and I guess that other guy just flipped off too and left. But I stayed there. I stayed there, and I told him thank you. I told him thank you because you made me realize this. You made me realize that I'm coming into things as a beginner when I could be coming in it in awareness, not as a professional, because you can't do shit. Nothing's perfect, but you can do things at a bigger demeanor.
Yeah.
Just like the people here, they're watching, bro. They're interested in what's going on. They're giving us that reciprocated love. Sometimes us, the men, are the problem. We just don't see it. And vice versa, bro. Don't just put it on you, because women can also be a problem. You know, if they're not playing their part right, or if we're not playing our part right, it could be an off balance.
Yeah, dude. And that's another thing too, Manny. I agree with you on that 100%. Us as men, we don't see problems, or we don't see them. Yeah. I mean, they're there. We just like, it just takes us a minute to catch. Like if I went to another room and thought about what just happened, and I'd be like, "Fuck, I just fucked up."
And it takes a while for us to understand. And they're like, "Don't you see what the fuck you're doing? Are you really a moron?" Like, and then that becomes toxic, right?
Hmm. So like,
Common sense. It's common sense. It's common sense. And then you're like, "Whoa, there!" Like, I'm not gonna say anything back because if I do, then shit's gonna go AWOL.
yeah, that or
Yourself back, then you're throwing it under the carpet.
I agree. Like if we snap right there and then, I mean, yeah, all hell's gonna break loose. Versus like if she
Stop me
talks,
there, bro. Like, stop me there. Like, how can we change that though? Instead of throwing it on the carpet, then we use our tonality and we say, "Babe, I'm aware that I might have been a dumbass, but honest to God, I didn't know. I didn't because of what you're sitting on that side. I'm sitting on the left. If I you, I can see your perspective, and if you sit with me, you can see my perspective. Does that make sense, bro? Like
yeah,
we got to put each other on our own shoes because then it becomes divide and conquer, right? And that's the whole. It's a colonist thing, bro. It's a colonist thing. They want to colonize, and it's always a hierarchy. I'm better than you. I'm better than you. I'm better than you. I'm better than you. Even in your own fucking relationship, you can't be that way, bro. Because if you are, then you're going to hinder any relationship you go into because you're going to think that you're the better person than anybody else, and you're not going to allow yourself to grow.
yep, absolutely right, brother.
You know, this conversation lingers, bro. It's gone off through a lot. Abuse is kind of the main thing why we're here. What do you think your story changed? What do you think helped your story change?
Hold on, brother Chris. I think your headset's going out.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
I was saying, how do you think your story changed? Like, what made that push? Like, is there a certain point where you thought that, hey, I'm a cop and I'm going to help these people out, or is there any reasoning behind why you want to do this conversation? Like, we had more into tell, but I feel like abuse has been a bit of a linger off. Is there any stories you might want to share that change that perspective?
So I became a cop first of all because my daughter uh, was molested when she was younger. Um, so I became a cop because they said that he was in the Vic County jail system, and I was trying to get in there before he got out or transferred to another prison so I could fight him. That was the whole reason I became a cop. It's just to fight that guy. So that's because I knew who it was. So um, that was the whole reason I became a cop. It wasn't not because I wanted to be a cop. Um, I didn't want to help people actually, but like once you get in the system, they teach you discipline. It's really military. It's really really military. So you gotta be there at a certain time, like at 5 o'clock, running, working out. It really was military. But so it just taught me discipline, and then the anger just went away.
So do you find peace in your discipline? Do
Huh?
you find peace in your discipline?
I can't hear you, brother.
Hello?
Huh?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I said, do you find peace in your discipline?
Yes, sometimes I do. Now the thing is, do I forgive this guy? No. Huh? Yeah, I don't.
This person hurts your daughter. I mean, it's unbearable. Can you hear me better now, bro?
Huh?
Can you hear me better now?
No, it went out again. Yeah, you're probably gonna have to turn off your iPod. Your AirPods. You No. Just because you still have it in your settings, right? You have it under AirPods.
How about now?
There you go.
Is that better? Can you hear the
Yeah.
music in the
Uh,
background?
No, it's not bad. I mean, yeah, I can hear it, but it's not bad.
Amazon, volume at 4. Does it sound louder? Bro, where did
No.
you leave off? What was I saying?
That I couldn't forgive him, and then you said, "Fuck no, I wouldn't." Or you
Yeah, bro.
kidding?
There's no way you can forgive a person that touches your daughter. I mean, that's without doubt. You want to kill the guy.
I mean, and then it's just other things too, like family wise. Like people have come to me that I didn't know things happened to them. So I'm not gonna say who it was because I don't think he would want me to. Uh,
Yeah.
but it was one of my family members, and I didn't know that happened. Had I known, I would probably kill the guy.
Holy
But
shit.
I mean, it just they like I said, it's hard for women to tell you unless they're like really able to talk to you, if that makes sense.
You know. Yes.
So
It it honestly fucking man. Sorry about that, bro. It honestly sounds like you've been through a lot of pressure because of family, and family is always going to be first, bro. You know, it's not a bad thing. Can you hear me clear, bro? Or is it
mhm.
cutting off?
No, I can hear you fine.
Yeah, bro. Like, it's a hard situation to be in. Like, I couldn't see myself even. I'd probably be in prison by now. Honestly, I'd probably be in prison if that would have happened to my daughter. And I might say it now, but the circumstances would have pushed me to that. There's no way that that man would have been alive. No way. No way. Like if you have the, it's not even courage. It's more like cowardness to take advantage of a creature that's smaller than you. It makes you a piece of shit. You're obviously a predator. You're a person who shouldn't be alive. That's my perspective. You know, fuck whoever thinks out there differently, but I don't think any predator should be given the granted of life,
I
straight to
agree,
death from.
bro. But it's the same. It's the same with grown ass men hitting women because they feel dominance over them.
They
They
have
feel.
no right. No
They
right, bro.
feel. So, yeah, it's no right, but they feel, I guess, powerful.
It's kind of like the alcoholic. When you drink alcohol, then you have courage to do shit. It's the same thing. They have courage because either they're alcoholics, addicts, or whatever, and then they do that, and then they beat on the person they love because they want to feel power. They want to feel just straight up to what they feel. Straight up.
But man, I don't know, man. I don't know. I couldn't do anything because they had moved in prisons anyway.
It's insane,
So
bro. It's insane, and I can relate to you in that as the victim. You know, I went through that. How hard was it me to overcome it? Maybe I'm still doing it. Maybe I'm still working through it on a daily basis. I can't deny it. I am not perfect at all. Like I have situations where I burst out and I leave the room because I don't want to be in that same circumstance. And I feel you, bro. Like I'm a very hot-headed person too, and I've worked on that, but it's taken a lot. It's taken a lot. Like it might be even to the point where I had to have different relationships in my life in order to know who I was. Like I learn from people. Like I don't learn from myself. I don't learn from books. Like all the knowledge that I may carry or have, like it comes from people. Like that, I rather learn from a person, like what you've been through and how you've grown, versus me sitting down and reading from a book. Because what is it going to teach me? Experience or knowledge?
Isn't it both though?
Knowledge is necessity. I'm not saying to not read a book and be stupid. You got to be some type of book smart, you know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, because you got to double check those answers that those people are giving you. That's where it comes into substance. You know, you have to have some type of substance with somebody in order to fill your cup. It's like if I tell you of my daughter, hey, my baby was born yesterday, bro. How are you doing? Oh, I just shared a part of my life that's super tender to you. Now, how do you feel that tenderness back? Like it's we tend to feed off to people, and like say right now, this conversation, I'm giving you my full cup, right?
Yeah.
And let's say you weren't talking back to me, you were just silent or whatnot, or you just were pissed off for some odd reason. Then my cup will never get filled. But I already fed your cup. You see the off balance?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with a relationship. You can't be off on one side and then the other side. It's like I think Will said it or Pat said it earlier. Like if if it's not double or if it's that the other person hasn't healed, how can you both fix each other or how can you both work? Like I've been in those same shoes with my wife. Chris, anytime you need to talk, I'm here too, brother. Just because you're friends with Jorge, that's my brother. We can even talk gym shit. Brother, I feel like you're heading out. Much love, my brother. It's been a pleasure. And if you want to laugh, I got you. That's what I do. Manny, my brother, great guy. That's what I mean, man. A reciprocated relationship. You always want to have some type of connection with that person because if the moment that connection breaks, you're going to become an abuser and oppressed or a victim, right?
True. I feel
So
like, but that I feel like that's in any relationship though. Like how relationships go.
in any relationship, it could be with an animal, with your snakes. You could have a bonded relationship, and out of nowhere, you stop touching the snake. And then it becomes defensive and it bites you. Like, what the fuck? It's not the snake's fault. You gave up on it.
Yeah.
That's what I try to teach people. Like some of my clients, bro, like, your snake just bit me. What the hell? What do you mean? He was fine. He's never bitten. Well, he was hungry. Okay. Now that's a de-stressor. Like, once you see the signs, kind of like how we do with snakes, you know, like, you're not going to just stick your hand in the enclosure if you know the snake is defensive. You're not going to stick your head in the enclosure if you have a rat outside gnawing out.
That's for damn sure. I'm not doing that. First of all,
You're gonna
I don't
grab a
know who
hook,
would do that. Yeah.
tap it, make sure it's okay, and then you grab the snake. That's the same thing. You're not gonna go up to your wife when she's pissed off and tell her, "Hey, babe, can you help me with this?" Or maybe you do, and then she calms down. But let's say in that situation where she's pissed off and she tells you, "Leave me the fuck alone. Leave me the fuck alone." What do you do in that circumstance? What do you do?
I don't know.
It's hard as fuck, right?
It's hard because you want to find out what did you do, or if you even did anything, or what was her problem, what happened.
But that's when we redirect ourselves, when we stop and we're like, huh. So if I think about myself right now and say I need to figure this out because it's hurting me, because I need to know why she did this, then you're taking away from her time decompressing, understanding what you just said, and maybe even looking at those perspectives. And maybe she comes out of the room and she says, "Sorry, babe. I thought about it in a different way, and I thought you meant this." But the moment that you go into the room and you say, "Babe, what the hell? Why are you mad?" You're taking away from that experience, right? You're taking away from that decompression where she now doesn't have the time to think what she just said. And she's still going to be on that horse. And you're just like feeding the fire. You're just
So
like,
what? So what if you say I'll let you decompress and you come tell me when you're ready to talk?
oh, it's
Would
word
that?
and passion, bro. That to me sounds more like deliverance. It sounds like you're delivering that play to her. It sounds more relatable, right? Like if you tell that person like take your time or don't even say anything, walk out the room, don't say a word because she's obviously setting her boundary now, and she said, "Leave me the fuck alone."
Obviously, I'm gonna.
No, You know,
I'm not gonna
silence
stay in
speaks
there
louder than
because
words.
I know
Silence
if I
speaks
stay
louder
in
than
there,
words.
yeah, I know. But if I stay in there, I know I'm gonna eventually gonna start argument over
Yeah.
nothing that I don't know what's going on.
Exactly, exactly. But you can't figure it out because you want to fix it as a man. We need to fix things. That's our necessity. We feel full when we fix things. That's what we like. Like if you're fixing a tree or fixing some type of car, you feel happy because you succeeded and you did it. And now imagine doing that for the person you love. It's insane to stop it. You can't stop it because you feel the lingering effect that I need to help this person now because I love them. You get what I'm saying, bro? Like you got to hold yourself back from that situation and pull yourself back and say it's not just me right now. It's her. Or maybe it's vice versa. She needs to learn how to stop and give you time to go to the gym and do your podcast because she needs to understand that you need to decompress and learn from other people to extent.
Like this, I'm learning right now.
Bro, I'm learning from you. I'm learning that a lot of the things that I'm saying I need to say to myself.
I only say to myself only because, like I said, because she either tells me like that hurts, or she is very open to that. She'll be like, "Hey, that hurt." Like I said, I felt nothing. Like I wasn't thinking like I said, I wasn't thinking
That was
of
the
the question,
testosterone right there, fucking pumping shit. I didn't
bro.
feel shit.
Yeah, I was like, I don't feel shit. Like, and she's like, see that right there, that hurt me. Like my stomach, that hurt my stomach, and I was like, shit. And but the thing was, like I said, it always goes back to like when somebody asks me a question, I'm always thinking they're asking to get a negative response.
Because you're expecting the bad. Stay positive, bro. Look what Maddie just said. I always stay positive.
And yeah, so when you expect bad, you always get bad, right? So in previous relationships, that's exactly what happened. I always got the bad.
You know who Les Brown is, brother?
Who?
Les Brown,
No.
motivational speaker.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Have you heard the story of him being mentally retarded?
No.
Okay, so he walks into this room one time, and well, he was at school, and the kids would always tell him, he's mentally retarded and whatnot because he was in a special ed program. And he
Mhm.
walks into his classroom, and the teacher was a math teacher in I think fourth grade or whatnot. And the teacher looks at him and it says, "Hey, you, let's pick up the marker and write down this equation." He wasn't even part of the class. And then he looks at the teacher and he's like, "Sir, I'm sorry, but I'm mentally retarded." He says, "Grab the marker and write the equation." And he turns around and looks at the class and they all started laughing. And then he looks at the teacher and he says, "But sir, I'm mentally retarded." And he says, "Grab the marker and don't let anybody dictate who you are by what they tell you and who you will become. At the end of the day, you have the decision of who you will become." He became a motivational speaker. And after he graduated high school, this story is concrete, like it actually happened. He went to a radio station and he wanted to become a speaker. And he was just a mob boy. He would mop at one of the shops, at one of the parlors that it was in his town. And he went into the radio station and he talked to one of the guys and he's like, "I want to learn how to do this." And the guy blew him off and told him, "Please don't come back." Les comes back the next day and he's like, "I need to learn how to do it. I want to learn how to talk or have me do whatever." And he says, "Please get the hell out of here. Don't ever come back." The third day he comes back. And then at that time when he came back, he's like, "I need work. I need to be part of this. I want to be part of this music company." And the guy or the industry guy tells him, "Go grab a broom and start brooming this up. You're going to start cleaning up the facility. You'll start as a busser or people who clean the facility." So as one of the guys one night when he was cleaning, Les Brown was cleaning the studio and the guy was drunk, the guy who was on the radio. And Mr. Frank, the guy who owned the studio, calls Les and he says, "Les, it's time for you to take action. I know you're just a busboy, but it's time for you to take the radio because this guy's out of control. He's drunk." So he takes him off, he grabs the mic, and he says, I'm Les Brown, double tree McLovin, the one who's going to make your life twisted. And he started falling off, bro. He hit his DJ career. All because he believed in himself and he didn't give up. Because he believed that he was not mentally retarded.
That's
You see where
dope.
it takes you? Like it's the fact that what people tell you when you're a kid, who you will become.
And that goes back to another thing she said because she's like, "What are you gonna do about it?" You know, because I be telling her like, "Man, like, there's always something, dude. There's always shit going on." And it's just like, "Well, what are you gonna do about it? Like, you're gonna sit here soaking, or you and go out there and do what you do?"
You never
Yeah,
had that confrontation within yourself, huh?
I've never had anybody tell me like, I just usually stay in my room. I literally just stay in my room, bro. Like, if I could lock myself in my room, I would. Sometimes I would too. Sometimes I wouldn't come out till like 6 o'clock. And my family now is like, man, we see you a lot more than we did before. You know, so I guess it's all a good thing.
Dude, relationships, you don't understand, brother. Like when I see happiness from a person change, and like even without relationships, you see a person change, and I'm pretty sure you felt this before, bro. Don't lose your dinosaur like his step brother. Fucking up my tater tot.
Right?
It's your own tater tot. Wait, that's the point of Dynamite quoting a different movie.
Oh yeah, I was like, wait, yeah, that is.
Oh shit. That's beautiful, bro. This world is amazing. And when we realize things together, I think it grows. We help each other build relationships. We help each other, grow as one. And it's not about the money, bro. It's not about like what how I was saying about snakes. Like I miss it sometimes where I would take snakes out with people because of the fact of what I'm about to say. It's hard to see a person say no to something that that fixed you, right? I know that snakes help me a lot. I know that reptiles help me heal a
Mhm.
lot. Internally, physically, emotionally, my family changed, my life changed, everything changed the moment that I focused on what I love. So when I brought that to the public and I would sit down on the floor with kids, you would see their faces shine. And then out of nowhere from the back of your shoulder, the parent comes and tries to reach over to the animal, which they wouldn't have given the opportunity if the child had never touched it, because now they feel vulnerable. Because if your child can do it, then why can't you do it? And then you have those circumstances where the boyfriend and the girlfriend come together alone, where there's no kids to influence the situation. And then the guy stands up and says, nah, man, no way I can do that, man. And then the girlfriend holds it like nothing. And then he's like, how come you're doing it? I want to do it because we are followers as human instinct. But the moment that we separate that, shit goes AWOL. Like with that, bro, like how you can feed that into other people, that's what made me happy. That was my happiness, like knowing that you could help another person overcome either a weakness, or knowing that they can't even see themselves because they're holding themselves back because they don't want to touch a snake. And then out of nowhere you see them a week after, the person that touched your snake or touched your reptile, they're a complete different person. They started a new job, they changed their life in a different way, all because you got over something called fear.
You said, tell the story, Jorge, how you met him, and we like family now.
Man, bro, this is insane. That is an insane story, brother. It was with reptiles, man. We started hitting up reptiles, and I saw that he was part of like the religion, what I practiced with the Yoruba. And my man, we've never met in person, bro. We've never actually yet met. I mean, I'm bound to come here to Jersey here within the next couple of months to finish some stuff for myself. But, bro, the relationship that we've had constructed from it's been maybe about 5 years since we've met, and it was because of the reptiles. He was selling colubrids. I would hit him up. I'm like, I like your snakes, bro. You have some beautiful bull snakes. And he had a patternless bull snake, bro. Most beautiful thing ever. I called her Diamond. She was a sassy girl, bro. As soon as I held her, not one time did she bite me. She would blush and everything, but not one time did she bite me. And he was intrigued by that. Maddie was fucking intrigued. He's like, "You're the snake whisperer, bro," and all kinds of shit. I'm like, "No, bro. I just love my relationship with my snakes, and I have, I guess, the balls to just go up to them and grab them. Like I'm not afraid of holding a snake that's snapping at me, you know." And then we just hit it off from there. I
Yeah.
started asking him questions about how doing things in the religion or the practices that I do with Yoruba, and it's an African religion or it originated or synchronized in Cuba and America, but it was a synchronicity between Yoruba and Fa, those practices, and a lot of the shit that I had done or I went through, I was taken advantage of. So I would pay for ceremonies or do certain things and come to figure out my Boricua friend here. He was telling me that all the shit that I have was false. So then we started hitting that off on the religion. You know, he's like, you have spirituality, bro. Like you have an eye. You know how to work with spiritual stuff. He's like, how come you never push it? I'm like, well, because I've obviously been held back. He's like, we need to get this fixed, bro. We need to get this fixed. So we started hitting that off, and then other things expanded, and now I feel like my life is actually moving, bro. Like spiritually, you have to be concrete. And if you have shit done wrong in this practice, it's like they're holding you back because we deal with energies. We wield the energies. It's almost like we're wizards in essence. You know, we can see or perceive each features or future, and then from that we navigate our life. We help people or we wound them. You know, there's people that have a road that they have to do bad things. There's people that have a road that have to do good things. I myself don't know. I don't know what the fuck I need to do yet because I was led through this bad path. And my man Manny, he told me, he's like, bro, all the shit that you've been given is false. He's like, your faith is so big that that's why your shit's working. Now, there's something called an elegua in this religion and this practice, and that's usually what they give you first. They give you that elegua or a deity in your home. And you put that deity in your house, and you give it veneration. You clean yourself. You meditate, right? Same thing like if it was God, and that's who he represents, or he doesn't represent. He represents El Niño de Atocha, which is baby Jesus, in the synchronization. It's almost like saying this person is or this deity within myself. I'm going to open the doors for myself and I'm going to meditate with this deity, feeding it. And you feed it certain foods and you clean yourself with that. It's all nature, bro. It's a naturalistic aspect of how we deal with this religion. We take it to rivers, we take it to mountains, we take it to other places, and we leave those offerings there as in communion of our own energy. So we clean ourselves with these things and we release it to nature so that way we can heal ourselves. When I started doing things the right way, I actually started feeling change. And I haven't even started. I've barely even scratched the surface. I haven't done shit. But I felt the change in energy the moment that I got rid of what I had. The moment that I stopped doing what I believed was right with the other person that was navigating me. Now, my madrina, or the lady, she's African Cuban. She's very old. I honestly have too much of a good heart to think that she would do bad things to me. But I think that this person is very old at this point in time that she's not able to manage or even she has Alzheimer's, she has Parkinson's, so it's like it's hard for her to do that. And like my brother, man, he was showing me. He's like, bro, none of the things that sound right or how they're supposed to be practiced in order for you to travel the way you're supposed to travel have been done right for you. He's like, these people are holding you back, or you're holding yourself back. And Mafere fue un elegua. Elegua, Niño de Atocha, this person or this deity, he opens the door, bro. And as you meditate with this person or this deity, you see that, you know, you're getting into discipline because you have to do certain ritualistic things on a Monday. You clean and you bathe them, you do all these things, right? And
Mm.
as you do that, you understand that you have to have discipline within your life. And that's how I translate a lot of these things that I do spiritually. Like, let's say you go to church on every Sunday, you go to church. Now that becomes a discipline, right? So now what else can you make a discipline? What else can you make a habit?
Cleaning your snakes properly.
feeding your snakes properly, cleaning enclosures properly, doing all this shit.
Just habit, bro. So like,
It's habits.
so for instance, here's another thing. Habit. We all got habits that we can't break or we can't get out of. We always say words, the same words over and over and over because it's a habit.
21
Correct.
days, bro. 21 days.
Correct.
How
Right.
can
I'm
you
like,
break a habit? 21 days.
yeah, but okay. So yeah, that's what. Okay, so this is what I'm getting. So I have the habit of saying whatever. I don't care. You know. Um. I don't give a fuck. But the one thing that like I hit that she really hates is you better not. That she says she hates that. So
So expand your vocabulary. Start reading books. Start listening to
yeah.
audiobooks.
No, it's just their habits.
Exactly. How do you break a literal habit? How do you break your language? You learn more. You
More
learn how to use different words. You could have told her, what was the last thing you said?
better not.
You better not. How can you tell her you better not in a smart way to make her laugh?
Mm,
Your actions are inadequate. I
don't do
don't
that.
correlate. And then it just sounds fucking funny.
Right? Don't do that.
No, you got to make it sound fucking strong. You know, like, yeah, quit that shit.
Quit that shit. I'd be like, stop saying that shit. You know. I don't know. But
Oh,
I'm in
bro, you
Texas.
just
That's
made
where
me
I'm
see
at, brother.
something in myself.
I'm in San Antonio, Texas. That's exactly where I'm at.
Yeah, bro.
But yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Habits. We got habits. We all got habits, and we say the same shit. But we're always saying that we'll break them, but then we still stay in those habits. So, and
Write
you
it
say
down.
it takes 21 days to break a habit,
And
bro.
how do you start? You write it down.
So she sees me. She sees me trying to like. I'll catch myself and be like, "Fuck, I just said it again," or I'll be like, "Damn, I just said it again." Like, God dang it, this shit's hard.
It's hard, but you got to push it out.
So,
My wife says the same thing. You don't want to eat anything? You don't want to go over there? Instead of, hey, babe, let's go over there, right? Or, hey, babe, you want some to eat? Instead of saying you don't want, you're removing that negative aspect of it. And you're saying, babe, you want some?
so like when we do go out to eat, I already know she's gonna eat from my food, and I'll be like, "Babe, you want to try it?" And then just slide over, and be like, "Get your pick." Or like when I get this drink, she's like, "Can I have some of your drink?" Yes, I'm not
Just
gonna
get
tell you
into the
no.
habit of ordering too, bro. She'll get pissed off the first couple of times, but she'll get used to
I'm not.
it.
But it doesn't bother me. Like I like sharing my food. I don't care. Like I'm not that guy that's like, no,
I
you
don't
can't.
like to share my food, bro. I'm stingy.
But like, no, you can't have me. I will share my food. I don't got a problem sharing my food.
Yeah. Not with my wife. I'll share it with anybody else, but not with my wife. I asked you if you wanted to get something. You said no.
See, I'm like that, but then I'm like, fuck, I feel bad afterwards.
Yeah, yeah. We're fucking big ass teddy bears, bro. I get
For real, that's what she calls me too. She's like, "You're a big ass teddy bear, aren't you?" I was
it.
like, "Yes, I would say for the right woman, yes."
Yeah.
Because I'm not. I told her I'm normally not like this. I don't do this shit. I definitely don't try to sit down and talk, try to be understanding. Before I didn't. It was either my way or nothing. You know, that was how it was. That's what I was.
Because you were stuck in that me mentality. Like you can't, bro. It's not just about us. Like it's bigger than just this.
Well, I should say I don't care about anyone else but myself. That's what my mentality was. And I have a
Well,
whole
you
song. You
you
know that
have to
song from
care about yourself. That's the thing that's so hard to differentiate. Like, how can I love myself, but then at that same time show more compassion to humans instead of me?
and that was the hardest thing for me to do.
And still to this day, I'm pretty sure you still struggle with it.
A little, a little, but I'm getting it.
Bro, any questions that you have for me, or anything that you think I might be able to help or answer, or maybe something that you want me to answer? I feel like I've been throwing a lot of shit here at you.
Nah, dude, you're good. I really enjoyed it. I don't know about you. What'd you think?
I love it, bro. I got a nice thing for Chris to do. I'll explain. He's gonna clean your ass, brother. He's gonna clean you through.
Yeah, like now I'm afraid to meet him. No, I'm joking.
What happened?
I said now I'm afraid to meet him. I'm joking.
Oh shit. He's good, brother. He's the real shit. Not gonna lie, man. I didn't feel. I don't feel like my madrina fed me off bad things, because a lot of the things she would say would happen, but it was always the negative that would happen. It was never the positive.
Yeah, it's
Like,
always negative.
we work with oracle systems, so it's like you come back to your godfather, your godmother, and then they read you, whether depending on how they need to read you, spiritually, or if somebody comes up and they throw the shells, then they'll do that. But everything has a process. You go for a reading and they tell you to do a certain thing, and then if you don't do it, then there's a consequence. If you do it, there isn't. So it's like the yin yang, but you're fighting with it internally. It's not like it's God's fault and the devil. It's now you. And that's what religion does. They say, okay, it's God and the devil, and then baby Jesus, behind me, Jesus, behind me, Jesus. It wasn't me. I just wanted to sleep with her cousin. That's it. But Jesus, forgive me for what I did, Jesus. Baby Jesus, I didn't do that shit. Do you understand what I'm
Gotcha.
saying?
I
If
got you,
I
bro.
do this, I'm okay. But if I do this, I'm not.
Yeah,
So it's like, that's why I don't align myself with religions, bro, because it's like you're separating the things that are inside of you and putting them out and saying, I'm a perfect person now because I fucking go to church, because I listened, but tomorrow I'm gonna go cheat on my husband, and tomorrow I'm gonna go curse out little Billy because he didn't pick up his shit.
yeah, I got you, bro.
No diddy.
Right? But I don't know. You got anything else for me, brother?
I don't got nothing, brother.
I
I feel
thought that
like I
was good.
ripped it
I
off,
thought that was
ranted
good.
off, and didn't let you to speak. That's how I feel.
Nah, I spoke. Well, I gave some points, but I was just trying to get
Do you
information.
feel full?
I do.
You do? I feel full, bro. I appreciate you. I love you. I love this conversation. We need to do another episode. I know that this upcoming week you might be on it too, with the priest. Now he's a Catholic priest, so there's a lot of controversy. He's also an exorcist, so he's been deaconized to become an exorcist. So we'll dip into the supernatural then. But I'm looking forward to it, bro. Looking
Oh
forward
yeah,
to
me
it.
too, brother.
Bro, anything you got to say? I love you. I want to let you go, but that's it, my man.
All right, I love you guys. Thanks for everybody watching. Thanks for tuning in to this episode. This was a good one. I really enjoyed this. Hopefully, we'll come back with some more. Um, on that note, guys, we'll see y'all out of here. Go check out the Spirit Animal Podcast. All right, I can't do it that way. There you go. The Spirit Animal Podcast on Instagram, and then George, the real George of the Jungle on Instagram as well.
There
Um,
you go.
go and give him a follow. Go check his stuff out. On that note, guys, you got anything else to say before we head out?
Always much love, respect. Hang out there for me, bro. Just hang the live, and then we'll talk a little bit here behind.
I'm gonna do the outro.
Yep, do it there.
All right, y'all have a good night. Good day. Good happy Halloween, guys. Y'all go do trick or treating, whatever.
Make sure
Uh,
to check the candy.
yeah, check the candy, and stay positive, lift each other up, never put each other down. Check on your loved ones, you know, and just keep pushing forward, guys. On that note,
Much
guys,
love.
we out of here. Much love.